Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. Today I'm going to talk about land, developing land. Let's say you found your perfect piece of property that you really love. There's a lot of things that's going to dictate the price you pay for it. The price could be really affordable. You could afford it, and you think it's very low. It could be low because of a few issues. It might not be on the main asphalt or a county maintained road, so that means you might have to have a longer driveway. I looked at this piece of property before it was purchased with the owner, and it had a very rough, I would say, I don't even know if it was a logging road. There was definitely a Jeep trail in here, but very rough. And they had someone come in after they purchased the property and did some grading. It's a few thousand feet long. There is a creek at the bottom, but luckily the creek had already a culvert in it, so they didn't have to worry about that. But that's a concern. You might live in an area with a lot of regulations, and there might be a creek. And if there is, you might need to get a permit if you're going to be crossing that by putting a culvert or a bridge in. So that could be an additional expense that you haven't thought about. This was very rough. He did a lot of grading. This week he should be putting the stone down, the gravel, and this will be very nice. They're going to have about $7,000 into this driveway. So yeah, you might find that perfect piece of property, but you're going to need some money to develop it, just in a basic form so you could get into it. The person doing this is a person I know. I recommended him to the gentleman that bought the property, because I know he does great work. He will do it right the first time, so you won't have problems. Putting a road in, you have to know what you're doing. You got to make sure that water is going to run where you want it and be able to control any erosion. And this is definitely a good job, and he knows what he's doing. So when you pick someone to do some grading or a driveway, make sure they know what they're doing. He had to do a lot of extensive grading, as you can see where that bank is right there and all the way down. So he's done a great job. Another thing that could save you some money is he didn't haul away any of the debris, any of the trees that he had to knock out. Now there's not many here because there was already a dirt road in here, but really maybe not even accessible by a four-wheel drive. Very rough. So if they leave all of the debris, that saves you some money, but then you're going to have to do the work, which you might want to, because there'll be some firewood in there that you can salvage and use. Another thing to think about, let's say you buy a piece of property and it only has a right-of-way. You have a titled right-of-way to your property. Some places, some power companies will want, some will want 40 feet, maybe 50 feet, and every area is different for a right-of-way. So let's say you bought a piece of property and you only got a 30-foot right-of-way. You really can't put electric power poles in unless you get the permission of the landowners next to you, because the power company will want to clear, some cases 40 or 50 feet, so they can put their poles, and usually they place them on each side of the road, alternating them. So you have to think about that. Now there's a way to get around that, is underground. I think it's 6 or 8 feet in my area, and that's all the power company will want if they run underground. Now underground's very, very expensive. I think it's $5 a foot. And it varies with jurisdiction, and you could get it cheaper maybe if you trench it yourself and have them drop the line in. But if you have a few hundred feet and you're counting on just overhead power poles and you don't have a big enough right-of-way, it's going to cost you thousands and thousands of extra by going underground. So this is the start. He's excited. Get some gravel on here, then he can get a vehicle in here, get a septic tank in here, and get going on developing the property. So when you look at a piece of property, yeah, look at the cost. Now you might find a piece of property is $10,000 more, $15,000 more than another piece, but does it already have a driveway in? Does it already have easy access to the electrical? These things you have to think about. Because yeah, you might buy the cheaper property, but in the long run you might spend more than that more expensive property. Now if funds are limited, yeah, you can buy the cheaper property, and then later on, as you get more additional resources, money, you can do those additional driveway or power. So you're going to have to look at the big picture. This was $7,000 when it's all said and done for the site work, the grading, and the gravel that he's going to put on this. That's really a large amount of money. So when you buy a piece of property, you're going to have money put back, or just have to save until you're ready. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.